What's going on, wonderful world of YouTube? It's Orange Beanie Guy, or Noah, whatever you want to call me. I'm sitting here with Mitchell.
Hello.
And I'm also sitting here with Anthony.
Good to be back.
We're all having a little powwow together. I asked Mitchell to bring me wine. He did not bring me wine, so now I'm sipping on this gin that was underneath my desk. I am not an alcoholic. I just like gin. Mitchell, your rebuttal?
You keep
Where's my fucking wine, Mitchell?
You keep a handle of gin underneath your desk.
Is it a handle?
Yes!
But where's the handle?
It's not a... Sure as hell isn't a fifth.
Well, yeah, it's like... You know what? I ripped the sticker off.
If it's a fifth of anything, it's a fifth of, like, the amount of blood in a horse. Like, that's a fuck ton of gin.
It's not that much gin.
It's a lot of gin. Not anymore, because you killed it.
It could be water.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, okay, but can I address the elephant in the room, though?
Yeah.
See, I'm a little bit concerned that we've gotten to a point where you actually have to have alcohol to talk to your subscribers.
No.
Yeah, I really want to...
You know, fine.
Are you saying you need to get drunk to be around these people now?
No, I'm be around these people. No,
They're physically in the room with us.
No,
that's what we feel.
I do not need alcohol. I just enjoy having a brew from now to time. Fuck.
Your and I's definition of a brew is very different.
I don't need alcohol. I just punch a hole in the wall when I don't have it.
I mean, you know, to each their own. Apples to oranges, or whatever the fuck that Little Dicky song goes about.
Yeah, but why can't fruit be compared?
Why can't fruit be compared, though?
But I don't know. I guess oranges
I
are
don't even know
different
if he
than
got the
apples.
he mentions the song and he doesn't
He
get
does.
the reference.
No, I know the reference.
Okay.
I know it. It's from fucking what is it? Pillow Talk.
Yeah,
Pillow Talk.
Yeah, okay.
But actually, that's kind of a funny point though, because like you're less likely to compare apples to apples than you would like apples to literally anything else.
Yeah.
Have you ever had the grapples or whatever weird like fucking apple?
Cran apples or whatever?
Like just take an apple and they're like any other fruit and they try to make something of it. Have you ever had like a mixed apple of something else?
The hell kind of wartime experiments have you been getting?
Have you never had them? It's weird. It's just like you pick it up and you're like, oh, it's an apple. And you bite into it and you're like, just kidding, it's a grape.
Now I'm imagining
It's
that
weird.
like it's a scientist like sitting there like squinting really hard at an apple and an orange and he just grabs them and smashes them together as hard as he can. He goes, science! And he gave it to a store.
What I'm picturing is like an X-rated Fruit of the Loom commercial.
Oh
where,
no!
We're like a I don't know. Somebody walks into a grocery store and they see like this grape apple amalgamation. They're like, oh my god, how did this happen? And then like a male apple and a female grape kind of awkwardly look at each other. They're like, yeah, how? I don't know.
I'd love
And
to see
then
that.
you got the what is that song? The one they always play for those types of moments. It's
Trying to hold back this
Yes, yeah, for
Okay.
so yeah. Oh god, it's gonna piss me off that I can't remember.
No clue what song you guys are talking
If
about.
I can address the elephant, the other elephant in the room.
How many
that
elephants are in my room?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
don't
small
know.
room.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. How the hell did we get Bar in your goddamn room? And how are we gonna get him out here before your mom sees? That's the real issue.
Babar.
Babar? Is it Babar?
Babar.
What
Wow.
the fuck are you talking about?
Babar the elephant? You never?
Is he the one that they killed by electrocution?
That was the elephant that Tesla or Edison killed.
Edison, yeah. I thought his name was Barbar. I don't know.
I don't think it
There's a
was
live
Babar.
video of that.
We were talking about the beloved children's book character.
Yeah.
What?
There's a beloved children's book character named Babar the elephant. You're speaking about a horrible tragedy that one of the greatest inventors of all time committed.
You son of a
Is
bitch.
it a tragedy?
Yeah, the man was like, hey, I wonder what happens if I run 1 billion volts of electricity through an elephant.
Well, now we know.
I think we could have guessed.
We didn't back then. We were strapping people to wood and burning them because we thought they were witches.
Okay,
We weren't the smartest people.
At what point? Like,
I don't think that was happening at quite the same point.
What period of time do you think Edison lived in?
I don't know. I'm not good with history. Don't question me. Don't make me look dumb. Because I am, and I don't want them to know it.
Late 1800s thereabouts, or mid to late 1800s, early 90s.
Witches or Edison?
A little bit of both, actually.
So
But
see, I wasn't
but
wrong.
it's more like Salem witch trials. Like it was a very isolated incident. So don't say like, yeah, we were burning witches when Edison was around. No, maybe somebody was, and that's the guy in your village who you were saying, fuck him.
You think we're
See, they were less similar to Halloween witches, and they were a lot more like Harry Potter witches.
Yeah. No, they didn't
I
like.
like those witches. They're nice
Yeah,
witches.
I mean, like Hermione's
Some of them are hot.
a nice-looking woman.
I'm actually just now starting to watch the Harry Potter
it's
movies.
really
I've
interesting.
never seen them. I think I saw like part 1 of the 7th movie in theaters.
Why did you? I'm not.
Because all my friends went.
Does that even make sense?
No. Okay, so Dobby, like I know he is now, but spoiler
alert for Harry Potter.
He dies. And everyone in the theater was crying, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" I was like, "Why is everyone sad? He's just like a weird little rat."
Why is there? Yeah, there's a little rat scrotum that just died on screen. Like, why is everybody pissed off?
And people were crying, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
I didn't cry by any means. Because I went to the premieres of the last 2. Because I read the books when I was a kid. I didn't cry by any means, but I can get why people would have done it. But I can also see how that would have been really, really weird for you as somebody who knew nothing about this story.
Yeah.
And some weird little rat guy just got ate, and you're like, oh fuck.
Oh, little rat guy thing just got ate.
That little rat thing just
Damn
got
nature.
ate. You scare it.
Yeah, but no, Harry Potter's good. I enjoy it. It was actually really cool starting off the first one because, you think Harry Potter and you're like, oh, that's magical and shit. But it was like when was the first one shot? Like 2001. Yeah, that's what I thought. And when they have the invisible cloak?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're watching the movie, and I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, at one point they drop their cloak and go running down the hallway. Well, it's just a fucking green cloak because it's a green screen effect.
Yeah.
And they forgot to take it out. And there was just like a green towel on the ground. I was like, wait a second, can we rewind? But I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, no, they did. They was really good practical effects, but my God, I can't deny that the first 2, they really... I don't want to say they don't hold up, because I still love them probably because of nostalgia, but man,
I feel like there's a huge gap between 2 and 3 when it comes to effects.
So,
massive.
So Chris Columbus, not the sailor, the director who made the Goonies and a lot of other really famous films, he made the first 2 Harry Potters, and then a new director, David Yates took over in the 3rd, and I'm not saying Chris Columbus did a bad job. Again, like I said, I like the first 2, but you're right. There's a huge... It exponentially goes up in, the quality of how everything looks. Honestly, probably the quality of the acting, which that can also be attributed to the child actors getting older.
Yeah.
They become, actual teenagers instead of, 12 and 13-year-olds in, the 3rd one.
They got a non-geriatric Dumbledore for the 3rd one.
They did, and I liked
How many Dumbledores were there?
2.
Okay,
So the first one died after the 2nd movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
My God.
But I gotta say, I liked the first one, but he could have never done the stuff that, second Dumbledore does.
Not even kind of.
This guy was on his lap. I can't remember that actor's name, but may he rest in peace. But man, he could have never done some of these stunts and some of the scenes.
Yeah, it was so tragic that he was violently murdered by Alan Rickman.
Yeah, really was.
Oh.
That may have been a spoiler for you.
Well, I know it. It's been years, so I get what's happening. I've never watched it though.
Have you ever played any of the Harry Potter games?
There was one on the PlayStation or the GameCube, I believe. And I remember you started off at the Weasley's house and you had to shoot some imps or something.
Yeah, you have to throw them.
That was the Chamber of Secrets one.
Yeah, that's as far as I got in that game. Was shooting at the imps, and I was like, "This is stupid." And I was I was a little kid. I wasn't reading what they were telling me. I was bashing X to get through it so I could play the game, which was nice with a game like Spyro because you didn't have to read anything. You just went.
And I wasn't really a big fan of the Harry Potter video games. I didn't really think they did. It's hard to make that a good game because first of all you don't want to rewatch the movie in game form. I think anytime that you have a game that's based on the plot, but also it gave you a lot of really irritating tasks.
Yep. Chores.
It's a chore list, and I think what they could have done is if they would have had
awkward. My bad.
Well, if they would have focused more on the things that we actually liked, like dueling, or made a game that was just if you could imagine almost like a Call of Duty with dueling or with Magic, I think that could have gone a lot further than the plot of Harry Potter.
They made a Quidditch.
That's
the one I was going to talk about.
Phenomenal game.
That game, honestly. If you want to consider it in a sports genre, it was made by EA.
It was a great game.
Was it really?
It was made by EA Games, not EA Sports. They had 2 different divisions at the time.
Well, that whole Harry Potter, all of them were made by EA Games.
Really? I didn't know. Okay, but the Quidditch one, fantastic. Honestly, from what I can remember, it's been a couple of years since I played because I think I lost my copy or the disc.
I still own one.
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go back and play that sometime, but. The controls are pretty smooth. It's relatively intuitive how you have to do it, the things you have to do. I really like the way that you have to I can't remember exactly what you have to do to go faster to get the snitch, But it's like the
Are you
better
a chaser?
No, you're a seeker.
Seeker, sorry, not
Yeah,
chaser.
seeker.
My bad. Don't
you're
watch Harry
fine.
Potter.
So like the better you do during like the game itself until it's time that somebody's found the snitch, like you get more of like a meter that builds up that gives you like boost, and then so you have to do better during the game. Then you have to like sporadically use that boost when you and the other seeker are chasing the snitch. Because if you don't,
then the other seekers can get
it. However, the one thing about the movies that really pissed me off is they made it seem like if you catch the snitch, you automatically win, which is untrue. As you see in episode 4 is in Star Wars. In the fourth episode, the snitch gives you 100 points. 150 points. But if you were already down, like let's say 160, you will still lose. Which actually happens, I believe, in the Quidditch World Cup.
It does, yeah.
In the fourth book.
And by the way, like, because the game can't end until the snitch is caught.
Yeah.
Right.
So the whole strategy behind when Victor Crumb caught the snitch in the fourth one was absolutely
It was
stupid.
horribly stupid. Absolutely.
Because so the whole problem was like Ireland was absolutely kicking the shit out of Bulgaria, and they get up to a point where it was like 160 to nothing, and Victor Crumb catches the snitch to minimize the loss.
Yeah.
When it's like technically games could go on for days or weeks. Like
and there's one of them, it mentions in the book, because like, it's based off of a real cricket event. There was a cricket game that went on for like 3 days, and there's like, in really quick passing in one of the books, it mentions how there was like a week-long Quidditch game. Like, they just kept going because nobody could catch the snitch.
Dang.
So like, these guys just sat on broomsticks for a week.
Shitting themselves
on a broomstick.
Imagine the chafing.
Yeah, I really don't want to.
That sounds awful.
You're on a broomstick.
You're on a
week.
literal piece of wood. It's just strapped between your legs, and it's flying back and forth. Some of them had like little places you could put your feet, but like some of the guys,
like
for a week.
For like you mean the Nimbus ones?
Yeah, like the Nimbus ones, and then the Firebolt. Which
you know what? What's also an interesting point is I don't remember them ever mentioning substitution. So
not once.
So did they eat
I
during
don't
that whole
think
week?
So.
How did they?
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
if it wasn't a week, it was several days. But the point of it is
that's a long time.
Long ass time. And yeah, as far as I can remember, you have 2 beaters, 1 keeper, 3 chasers, and a seeker. So that's what, 7 people?
7 people.
You have 7 members on your team, and I don't remember them ever introducing any subs in the books or the movies.
Right, because I thought in the books, whenever they needed a new, like if somebody got hurt, I thought they had to like go recruit somebody.
Yeah, that's what they did. Which like
they don't have depth. Like they don't have any other people on the team.
Let's say it's even a 1 day. Let's say it's a 6-hour Quidditch game. That is too much time for 7 people to be playing this game. The only guy who's lucky is the fucking keeper, because he just has to float there by 3 rings. Sure, he has to keep some of the balls out, but at this point, like, let's say he gets tired and he's like, fuck it, I don't even care if my team wins. He can just float there and let everybody else do the work. He doesn't even have to guard the goal.
I also kind of feel like the keeper's job is like also kind of meaningless, because when you have a snitch that's worth 150 points, you can let in a few goals and it's really not going to matter.
As long as, like, just trust that you have a game. You can throw away, like, I don't know how we went from a video game podcast to talking about, like,
we talked about Harry Potter.
I know, we talked about it, but, like, the fun thing is, I just like that somehow we have gotten into the dynamics of, like, the strategy that Quidditch teams can use. Which, by the way, Quidditch is, like, an actual, like, intramural sport at colleges. So it's really, really interesting that you have to like actually look it up. But like one person, a physical person, they get like the best cross country runner that they can get, and like they dress him in yellow, and he's the snitch. So like the game will keep going, and he'll run away from the 2 guys who play your seekers, and like until one of them can like pin him down and catch him in like this massive field, and they have like. And, like, everybody, like, has to hold a broomstick, or, like honestly, like, in between their legs the whole time, if I'm remembering right.
That actually sounds really
And then,
fun.
like, your beaters, as far as I remember, I think there's, like, dodgeballs you can get, and, like, you can hit somebody, and I think you get, like, some form of, like, a penalty, but not a penalty box, but, like, you're down for a little bit, and, like, you can't go as long, because... Fuck, by the way, the movies do a really great job of showing how fucking terrifying that sport must be.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I get it, some of these people are thrill seekers, but there is a magical ball flying 150 miles at your head while you're going 150 miles an hour the other direction. Instant death if any of those.
Oh, easily. Well, remember when Harry loses all the bones in his arm?
Yes!
Because of, yeah.
Oh
Yes!
yeah. That was the one I just watched.
It breaks its fucking arm. Oh my god. It was horrifying.
Well, he didn't break all his bones. What's his face made it into jelly, and he had to regrow.
Yeah,
it.
he-
Or something
yeah,
like that.
He's still got the living shit broken
Yeah,
out.
oh yeah, definitely fucking hurt.
Like, we're talking compound fracture, you know, and
And he took it like a man.
He did take
He's
it
just
like,
like,
a man.
oh, my arm's broken.
Yeah,
Someone
he
fix
literally
it.
sits there, think my arm's broke, and they're about to fix it, and then douchebag McFuckface comes and goes, let me handle this one. And I was like, this is just, you are just terrible. Everything you do.
you know, he was really good in Richard III, though.
Yeah, he was. Is that Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah.
Oh my god, Kenneth Branagh plays that guy. Please tell me you know who Kenneth Branagh is.
No.
Acclaimed
No.
director, actor, theater actor. Like, that
Yeah.
man's like one of the most famous British actors of all time.
He's phenomenal. He really is.
like I've said before in the past, I float around animation a whole lot. It takes a lot for someone to get me to watch like a live action show. So when they do, like, unless I recognize the voice actor, I probably if he's done something in an animation, I probably haven't heard of him.
I would imagine Kenneth has not branched out. into
He's
that.
more of an in-person kind of
Yeah.
guy.
I
You
mean,
have to be able to
sense.
see him.
yeah, I
You
kind
need
of
to
caught
see
that
Kenneth.
with his role in
I mean,
Harry
look at him.
Potter.
You look
He's
at it.
gorgeous.
It definitely.
He is gorgeous. He's a good-looking guy.
Is there any other Harry Potter games like that? The Quidditch one in the Chamber of
Well,
Secrets?
they made. I know they made a story video game for all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, they
and then
did?
there was and
There
then
was the Lego version.
they made all the Lego ones. They made. I had a DS version as like they would make like once the DS and like handhelds became more prevalent and
Yeah.
make them easier. They would start splitting up. They would do a console and a handheld.
Yeah.
One thing that I have to mention, I think it's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Have you seen that one yet? It's number 5.
Really good one.
Really, I
know.
really enjoyed it. Actually, I enjoyed all the movies. The game, however, you have to. I'm not going to go into spoiler territory because you may not know it yet. The point is, you have to be recruiting people for a thing, and to do that, every single one of them has a different thing you need to collect or a job you need to do. Like, it is mandatory side questing essentially, and you have to do it over 30 times to advance the level.
That sounds.
It was
It's tedious.
horrendous
Yeah.
gameplay.
That
Why,
does
like,
not sound fun.
do it for like 3 or 4 people and then show me a cutscene of Harry recruiting the rest.
Well,
I'd be
that,
fine.
that I think, and this I think ties really well into Noah, what you were kind of wanting to talk a little bit, or it might have been you, Mitchell, that mentioned this,
Yeah.
but video game series that maybe needed to die before they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the whole way that they did the Harry Potter gaming was, I think, kind of short-minded.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they put you in the magical world of Harry Potter and give you a chance to explore fucking Hogwarts, and they give you a game that's chore-based.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most movie-based games are cash grabs.
Oh well, and of course they are, and they still made a lot of money because they say,
because-
I can play the game, and it's like the movie and
I
the
can
books.
be
Like,
Harry Potter. No, you can't.
Exactly.
You
Except
can-
for,
I sure can.
I think it was Mad Max did really well. I never played it, but I
So
heard
the-
lots of good things about Mad Max video game.
yeah, I agree. Well, it was.
I heard the movie was great, too.
Oh, Fury Road's
the,
incredible.
The Mad Max video game was really cool because you could essentially build and customize your own car, and then the whole point was
Yeah.
seeing how long you would survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
So it
survival
wasn't
based
like
game.
it wasn't straight up like this is the plot of the movie. It was the concept of the movie, which I think is what they could have done with Harry Potter, is make a series like even what I think they could have done is have like a somewhat open world for each of the books, where you can make your own character,
Bingo.
put him in the plot of, say, like,
yeah.
the Goblet of Fire. Like, all of the Triwizard Tournament and everything, like, is going on as it normally would have, and then there's stuff that, like, you can contribute to, like...
But can you change the story?
That's what I'm
Possibly.
thinking of though. Is just like you're walking around and you just see like fucking kids on. He's getting rushed to the goddamn infirmary. You're like, oh my god, this jack off again is hurt. How does this fuckface keep getting in trouble or keep getting hurt? I get it. You're the boy who lived. I have a test to take tomorrow. Can you please keep it down?
Well, it's like that. There was this joke about, like, now... Ever since Titanic came out, that's the only movie about Titanic that could ever be made, because it's like, you know, it's like, oh, well, I'm making a movie about Titanic. Don't they already have that? Like, about, like, Jack and Rose? It's like, oh yeah, well this is the same thing, but it's from the people that were like 2 cabins down from them. You know, that's kind of what that reminds me of.
You can, I totally get what you're saying. You can never like remake this and like, oh, like it's a fun new twist, because then you're gonna be like, no, like, because we already saw what the Titanic movie shows the rich people and the poor people and what they were doing on the boat. Well, who the fuck are you gonna do it out of the perspective of the dog?
Do you consider...
so the whole movie's black and white, and I'm not going to sit there through that.
Well, then what do you consider, like, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie?
Because
that's a different... It's in that world, but it's a different thing happening.
But that's like saying, I'm going to make a movie about the year the Titanic sank, but I'm going to make it...
On a farm?
On a farm,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that's how they get around.
Right, it's kind of like saying, like, I'm going to retell the entire Harry Potter series, but we're going to talk about, like... Justin Finch Fletchley.
Nobody wants to learn anything about Justin Finch Fletchley.
But a couple more things that I wanted to comment on about like what that open world-ish Harry Potter game could look like is, you know, like let's say using Goblet of Fire as an example, like let's say you get the chance to put your name in the Goblet of Fire and compete instead of Cedric Diggory.
Ooh.
And so you're getting to compete against Victor Crumb, Fleur Delacour, and Harry. You're competing like against those people. And like you could lose. Like it's not like a part of the plot for you to win it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It'd be very cool.
And then you're the one who goes to do the stuff that happens at the end instead of
Have you gotten to number 4? Goblet of Fire?
Is that the one where it's like everyone's like a team and they go swimming in the ocean and then there's mermen and dragons and... Yes, but it's been so long since I've seen it.
Oh my god.
I hate to be that one guy that hasn't seen Harry Potter.
But you are that one guy that hasn't seen Harry Potter.
Conversation. But I can see something like that coming out eventually.
It would be really, really fun to set it in that world.
There's, you know, Reddit has been losing its mind for years wanting like a Harry Potter world, but not like plot related to Harry Potter, but where it's kind of like Skyrim.
Yeah, like a Skyrim.
Yeah.
Harry
Like
Potter.
people have been really, and I think that could do really well. You know, you get a guy who's able to, you know, be a wizard in the wizarding world, and you can essentially do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And like again, like there's dormitories and shit blowing up. Kids are turning the Great Hall into a swamp, and you're just floating around.
Or you could choose to be like a graduate of Hogwarts. And
yeah.
Be like
I would
like
love to be an
down.
Auror.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And that's why I want J.K. Rowling to come back and keep going with this, which I think she said she may be doing soon, like writing more books based around the world. But it's just such an interesting world to like throw at me and then make 7 books and be like, all right, I'm out.
Well, give it, like another 4 years, and I mean, the Oculus Rift and all this like VR gaming is really getting some stance in the gaming world. I can totally see a VR Harry Potter world. Maybe not like a Skyrim world, but more interactive in a way where it's like you put the goggles on and it's like you're there. I could definitely see something like that happening, especially because you have to hold like a wand. Like there's a couple like, it's not a Wiimote, but
Pretty much a Wiimote.
It'll vary. Well, like the PlayStation, I think you just have the controller.
Nah, PlayStation, you can have the PlayStation Move as well.
Oh, you
just
can?
2 little sticks that are like a Wiimote.
But even still, it'd feel good to have goggles on and be like, oh, this is my wand, and now I'm in the world, blah, blah, blah. I haven't seen Harry Potter, so I can't say much about it.
But...
It's like, wow, no, it's so insightful. This is my wand.
Yeah, this is my wand and my owl.
The thing they always say out loud in the books. Wow.
Wow, this is my wand. Have you met my owl? Like,
right.
God.
Right, we all remember where we were the first time we heard Harry say, this is my wand.
I'm feeling like you may not have watched the actual Harry Potter movies, and now you watch some weird porn spoof of them. If he was coming out and saying, this is my wand, you were watching something weird.
All he's seen is the Oni cartoon version of Harry Potter.
I fucking love that. Oh, I adore that video. But the Harry Potter, I like the Harry Potter movies for the fauna, like I've said about the video games. Like all the creatures that Hagrid has, I think it's awesome. Like the second one just said like, what was the name of the spider?
Aragog.
Yeah, he was fucking awesome. I was like, God, you guys are on the ball.
Yeah.
I don't even think I can contribute to this podcast anymore.
I like the perspective of having people that know what they're talking about and that guy in the corner. I watched the movie once.
The last time I filled in, I didn't even know what the hell RTS stood for. Like MOBA, they started throwing a bunch of acronyms at me, and I'm the guy who doesn't like game online.
Yeah. No,
So I had my
but,
typed up outline and nothing to do with it.
It's like,
And,
fuck,
yeah,
what's RTS?
We had to explain to my friend once what an RPG was, a role-playing game, and he was sitting there, and we were talking about an RPG, and he just looks at me and goes, "Why the fuck do y'all have a rocket-propelled grenade?" And we were like, no, that's not what's going on.
I mean, sometimes.
We were playing Call of Duty, and we were like, nope, that's not what this game is.
I miss Call of Duty.
Call of Duty is...
I miss old Call of Duty.
Fun Call of Duty.
Speaking of more series that need to
Die?
not necessarily die, but reevaluate.
Reevaluate what you're doing.
I think Call of Duty, what is it, Activision, I think is making this next one. I think they did a good job in switching back to World War II. I think this is going to kind of revitalize the franchise, if anything. This is the first Call of Duty game in a long time where if I had a console, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I would be excited to buy this one.
Here's my problem. How am I going to be able to have... Is this one going to allow me to have Snoop Dogg as, like, my eye in the sky who talks to me through my radio headset?
What are you talking about?
That was a real thing you could do in Call of Duty Ghosts.
What?
In Call of Duty Ghosts, you could pay, like, $4.99 or some amount and get the DLC where Snoop Dogg is, like, your narrator, kind of like your guy in your radio headset, and he'd be like, UAV up or something like that, and it's just Snoop Dogg talking to you through there.
Is that what you want in World
No,
War II?
absolutely
you want Snoop
not.
Dogg talking
Absolutely
to you?
not. But that's what I'm afraid they're gonna do. I'm afraid they're gonna be like, yeah, like this has become such a bro culture kind of game. Let's just fucking, I don't know, you can get the fucking weed skin on your gun again.
That's probably a thing that'll happen.
Right, and I think that was actually part of what made Battlefield 1
Yeah.
as successful as it was, because it threw back. I think everybody's been getting tired of the progressive futurism that was like the last, like all of the new Black Ops games, all of the new Advanced Warfare games. Well, and I always loved it was like Modern Warfare, Advanced Warfare, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like okay, it's either one or the other. It's definitely not both.
You gotta pick one.
But I think that throwback to World War I and Battlefield 1, and on top of the graphics and everything that they had, it was, I don't know if you played it at all, it is beautiful. And
Are you saying Advanced Warfare?
No, I'm saying Battlefield 1.
Oh,
The
yeah.
graphics are beautiful. They have a bunch of kind of segmented short storylines that you play throughout the war, and they're all really fascinating, really well-developed characters, really interesting stories. It's just a really well-made game, and it was a welcomed, bring back to like reality.
Yeah, because there's drop with the bullets and everything.
Yeah,
it's
a much
I appreciate
more realistic.
actual physics.
Sniping is very difficult in Battlefield 1.
Yeah, but that'd be fun though. Being able, I mean, obviously you're gonna start off bad, but being able to hone that and actually be good and like being able to calculate through like your visor being like, oh, he's like 300 yards out, I have to drop this where and like nailing a headshot, that'd just be like, like I would enjoy Battlefield 2, but again. No console at the moment.
And I think Battlefield does a great job between taking it to that level of realism to where you're not in this Call of Duty like I can jump off a fucking skyscraper and stab a man in the heart, which like some of those things can happen in Battlefield mainly because of like almost kind of like exploitative kind of almost glitches that you can do, but that's neither here nor there. But they do a fine line between doing that and then having a game where if you want to be like a real sniper, you're going to have to go sit on top of a hill for 6 hours and dial in your sight and account for wind and all of that, which I think Battlefield has found a really, really good medium between there. And that's why I think it needs to continue.
Yeah.
But unless Call of Duty can really revamp its style, which they're trying, it looks like.
Well, because I think all of a sudden they've realized they've gotten away from the reason why any of us actually ever played Call of Duty, because I think you play like Halo and Destiny for like the science fiction, futurism kind of warfare, the technology and all the things that you can't actually do in real life. Call of Duty for me was all about like this is a war simulation.
Yeah.
This is about as accurate as I'm ever going to get outside of actually being in it, and it was war, and it was you kind of lost that sense of reality. The further into the future they kept trying to press it.
And hopefully, I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing, but Call of Duty World at War, the story I thought for that was like beautiful. Because like you were saying, you're like, it's a war. Like, I can't remember which mission it was exactly, but you wake up in you're a Russian, and you wake up in a fountain full of dead Russians, and you're laying there pretending to be dead.
I
remember that.
They used that in a movie. I think it was like The Red Wall.
No, it's
I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie.
We watched
The Russian Sniper
in Mr. Price's
class.
Yeah, it is that really awkward sex scene. Do you know what I'm
I don't know
about?
if we got to that scene. I think Mr. Price may have skipped that.
There's like,
Senior Price.
There's like a 10-minute sex scene in that movie where it's just like it's like a barracks full of Russian soldiers, and this one girl just walks in, and they're like laying like tuna or not tuna sardines in a can, and this girl just kind of like goes down and like lays on top of the dude, and they start having sex, but it's just like 10 minutes of awkward like not moving sex. It's really painful. But besides that, the movie's fantastic.
What the hell was that movie?
It's Red something.
Behind Enemy
Dawn?
Lines?
But yes, that's
Behind
what it
Enemy
was.
Lines?
That's a great movie.
Behind Enemy
It's
Lines.
got Jude Law in it.
Wasn't that also the movie where it showed how there were Russians who tried to escape the boats on their way to a battle, and the officers would
shot them.
Yeah, they would shoot their own soldiers that abandoned.
Yeah, because they didn't want everyone else bailing. But I mean, because the way Russia won those battles is they literally just fucking mobbed people. They sent waves, and it's honestly, it's really, it kind of fucks you up a little bit to go watch
Enemy
those.
at the Gate. It was Enemy at the Gate. It wasn't Behind Enemy Lines. It was Enemy at the Gate.
That was an American one, I think.
And Behind Enemy Lines is about a pilot who gets shot down.
Enemy at the Gate's the Russian one, but
Watch it.
Watching any war movie.
Not sponsored.
Has anyone seen? My dad told me not to watch it because it really fucks with your head. When I was a little kid, and I still haven't done it to this day, it was Platoon. Did y'all ever see that?
I never
It's with
did.
Martin Sheen. It's Charlie Sheen, yeah.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Martin Sheen was Apocalypse Now.
I heard it was pretty messed up.
That's another good movie, Mitchell.
It is a great movie.
I mean, we should watch some war movies.
We should watch some more movies.
Watch some war movies and get sad.
We should watch some more movies and get sad. But this brings up another, kind of brings back to what we were talking about. There are so few movies or even books that can accurately or in a good way be put into a game. And I guess it works the other way too, but that's a topic for a whole nother day.
Well, and another problem I think with like video game adapted from movies is you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You know, like if I've read the Harry Potter book or the movie, or like they also did this with the Chronicles of Narnia. They came out with games like that. It's like, I know what's going to happen.
Dude, speaking of that, I got, when The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe came out as a movie, I got that game. I still have a free ticket to see The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in that game case. Never used it. But it was just kind of like,
pretty good movie.
It was a good game.
Really good. That's the one
I
can remember was actually not terrible.
It wasn't bad.
Because you could play co-op, and it was like, was it William, Lucy,
Edmund,
and
Susan.
Yeah, and you could switch between all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a movie-based game that's good. Go play The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
We got one.
But even more importantly, read the book series. It's a very good book.
Book series is also very good.
Way better than the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't get past The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I read all 7.
No, I meant like the movies.
Oh, yeah.
I felt
didn't either.
The future movies I never watched.
I thought they kind of spiraled out of control.
No, take that back. I think I watched...
I saw Prince Caspian.
Prince Caspian.
Was that alright?
It was okay.
Terrible. It wasn't near as good as The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
No.
I will say I actually never got to finish that book series because I got to number... It's 7, right? Or is it 6?
It's 7. Yeah.
7. I got to the Silver Chair. Is that what it's called?
6 is the Silver Chair.
So the Silver Chair. I got to the Silver Chair, and then I finished it, and then I lost it, and I never got to read the last battle.
You know what? Nothing beats Liam Neeson looking at a little girl and go, "Ride me!" You can't beat that scene. It's like the best scene in movie history.
Have you seen the original Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe adaptation?
What?
It's it's from like the 1960s or something. The beaver people are these they're just short people in beaver costumes. They're not like little people, like to use the politically correct term. They're just like short people. So they're about the size of all these child actors, and they're just like dressed up as beavers. And it was horrible.
And they weren't accurate to the plot, if I remember.
No,
correctly.
not even a bit. Good games.
What the fuck is Turkish Delight?
Turkish Delight.
It's delicious.
It's a good.
It is incredible.
It looked so weird when Edmund was eating it.
It's like a gelatin with it's like a sugary
like powdered sugar on top of.
It's got like powdered sugar. It's like I don't know how to describe it.
It's good.
I can't remember the ingredients, but I've had it once, and it is really fucking good.
If someone that's listening to this could look up the ingredients for Turkish Delight and put it in a comment below, I would greatly appreciate that. I don't know what it is, but I'd love to try.
What we should do for the next podcast is make some Turkish Delight and eat that.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
I'd be so okay with that.
You want to do that?
Post a video how to make Turkish Delight.
Right.
We eat it. I mean, fucking.
Get more views than anything else we
it's
made.
Shut the fuck up.
It's just
You're not wrong.
It's just 90 minutes of them listening to us eat Turkish Delight.
You know, it does have a nice tang to it. I really enjoy this.
You know what? I really want to play The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe now.
But I do too. I can't remember which
Which
console did you play it for?
PS2.
I played
Okay.
it for GameCube.
I played one for the DS, actually. The DS was fantastic.
I don't know about that.
No, it really. I know. You don't trust me when it comes to handheld things. I loved it.
The only good DS game was Nintendogs.
The only one?
The
Are you
only
sure
one?
about that?
No. Obviously, I'm joking, but
Have you
I
ever
remember
played-
specifically being like, "Mom, Dad, Nintendogs, I need
And
this."
Nintendogs was great. Don't get me wrong, but did you ever play?
You picked up shit. That was the game. You picked up shit.
Yeah,
A
I
couple
did.
more great games for the DS, where it was.
Excluding Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So there was the Super Mario 64 remake for the DS.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That was awesome. There was WarioWare.
Well, WarioWare is
WarioWare was
awesome.
so
I love
good.
WarioWare.
That was a really good one.
The Mario Kart for the DS is
Yeah.
great.
How about original titles?
Elite Beat Agents.
What?
It's called Elite Beat Agents. It's like a touch. You know what we talked about the other week when we were talking in our music
Like
episode?
it's
Go
a
back
rhythm
and listen
game?
to our music episode. It's a rhythm-based game, and you have to like you can either tap. Like there's specific places you need to tap, and you like tap, and then like you hold and like swipe along the path you have to follow based on the rhythm. But like it follows a storyline. It was really, really good.
So it's like grown-up Cooking Mama.
I have never played Cookie Mama, and I am very happy to admit that.
You've never played Cooking Mama?
Not
My
once.
little sister had a ton of those games, which essentially is what you just described, where like a dish would be laying out, and it'd be like, chop the carrot, and you go, and it'd be like, great job, next ingredient.
No, because you don't just have to chop the carrot. You'd have to chop the carrot in tune with a beat, and the beats get fast and slow, and their tempos
Okay.
shift really hard. And it's actually, from what I remember, it was a very, very difficult game. But it's about these secret agents that are going out and like defeating monsters and bad guys and shit like that. But it all follows a beat, and it's incredible.
Well, maybe we should. I need to find all the proper chords so I can hook up like the PS2, PS3s, and everything to. I guess I need the Elgato before we can really start doing that.
That's Spanish for the cat.
Sure is.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Hey, we were in Spanish conversation together.
You sure were. That was a great class.
Wasn't it?
God, I got.
You know, it was another really good game, in my opinion. Maybe you'll disagree. That was a movie. Was the Star Wars Episode 3 video game.
That was
played
great.
that one.
I loved the multiplayer fighting.
That was a
game.
wonderful.
That was
the
really
the
fun.
fights.
Yes.
They were a blast.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that one too. That was really fun. And
As somebody who didn't have it, I can tell you that the Lego sets for Episode 3 were fantastic. And there was one that I had where Obi-Wan and Anakin's lightsabers could light up due to special minifigs. And you could put them on these little platforms and have them fight. It was great.
I never got.
Were
I was.
Anakin's hands and feet detachable?
So, funny thing about that, they weren't supposed to be. At least one of them wasn't, because it had like the wiring running through it so the lightsaber could light up. But I had another Anakin minifigure, and I liked that one more because all his limbs detached. So I wanted to recreate the Darth Vader scene, so I tore off that arm, and he just had wires sticking out. And at that point, Anakin already has a robot hand, so I was like, it works well enough. I know he didn't have robot parts sticking out when his arm got burned off, but we're not completely adapting the movie.
I was more into Bionicles.
Oh
Bionicles
yeah,
were great.
Hell yeah.
I have literally a chest out there. I got to the point where I had like made all the Bionicles, and then they just sold parts, and they're like, make your own Bionicle. And I have a chest of that shit over in my loft over there.
See, at one point, after I moved out, my family was like, "Oh, we're gonna throw away your entire childhood."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like, I no longer own a GameCube.
Yep.
I no longer own a lot of my like childhood toys. Like I don't have the Bionicles or anything.
So we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Anthony's childhood.
Anthony's childhood.
We're gonna buy.
Actually, better yet, I want to know who the fuck has my GameCube. I want to know who they sold it to.
Is your name on it?
Yeah, if you look on the bottom,
it
it's
was-
going to
it-
say
it-
Anthony.
okay.
We're not going to say his last name, but
I-
contact us if you have one that says Anthony.
I hope that this isn't going to be taken out of context. but it was the only black one I've ever seen.
What?
I'm going to take that soundbite, splice it, and run with it, and that's the new thing we're going to use in every one of our podcasts.
But see, I want to see what you do with it, because I think that actually would be really funny. But yeah, I had a black GameCube.
I actually have never seen that. I've only seen original colors. I've
one.
seen the original colors, and I've seen like a bright silver one.
Yeah, no,
I don't think I've seen black either.
It was the only black one I've ever seen. So if it's out there,
if you have a black
please
GameCube,
please come home to me.
We're coming knocking on your door. We're getting this.
You're on borrowed time if you have my GameCube, you son of a bitch.
Wow.
I mean,
Scott, dangerous.
I'll stab someone for that GameCube.
Well, you just said that on something that's being put on the internet.
That I'd stab someone for a GameCube? My friend's
It's
GameCube?
okay. Everyone thinks his name's Orange Beanie Guy. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. He's never revealed his real name.
Who the fuck's Noah? That's stupid.
That's his biblical code name.
Yeah, my biblical code name not given to me by my parents.
You know what is one game that I heard that was based off of a movie, but that I heard was good, but I really can't believe it. So you know how like Marvel and Disney own the universe, and they're very good at, as all movie franchise people are, at making a movie and then making a game based off of it. I heard they made a game based off of the first Captain America movie, and it's really, really good.
Never played it.
Controls fluidly, which is really hard for me to believe because I've played a lot of Marvel games. Like I have great memories of playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and its controls there were a little wonky. And then I've played like more recent ones like Marvel vs. Capcom and things like that, and I've played those, and none of it controlled well. So I have a hard time believing that any of those games are good. But the Spider-Man 2 game, oh, that game was great.
That was a good game.
That was a good game, and I believe it holds up to this day.
Isn't that the one where you just had to keep saving the kid's fucking balloon because he wouldn't stop letting go of it?
I don't remember that part. I remember fighting Doc Ock on a train.
I remember
Which
doing
one
that.
was like the cell shaded one? It was like comic booky where you could play as Venom. I think that was the best one.
I never played that one.
Well, fuck. What is it's Spider the Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man, I think is probably what it's called.
It's not the Amazing Spider-Man. But
That is a movie.
I know.
Starring Andrew Garfield.
Whichever one's the
and Emma
cell shaded
Stone.
one where you can play as Venom.
And a lizard.
It's awesome.
Starring Andrew Garfield the cat.
Starring Andrew Garfield the cat, Emma
Andrew
Stone the gym, and a lizard.
Andrew Garfield loves lasagna and hates Mondays.
Why didn't they make a Garfield game off of Garfield 1 or Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties?
What would you possibly do in a Garfield? The laziest
Did
comic
you?
character
I'm
of
sorry.
all
Did
time.
you ever watch Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties? The thing that Bill Murray says he regrets most in his life. That's an actual quote by him.
I haven't seen the
The
second
one with
one.
the British.
Yeah,
king
so
or
there's
something?
there's a lord in Britain has a cat that looks exactly like Garfield, and John and Vet Lady and Otis and Garfield go to England. Otis the dog.
Odie.
Get with it. Is it Odie?
It's Odie.
Otis.
No.
Shit.
He's not.
Anyway, I'm an ignorant fuck. So they all go to England, and the cats get mixed up, and Garfield is now living like in paradise, eating all the time, and he like rules over all the animals on this lord's farm, and like he's their prince or their king or whatever. Hilarious joke alert. The thing that they do, he declares that Mondays no longer exist because of how much he hates Mondays. So yeah, I think a game could have been made out of that. I don't think it would have been good, but today we're talking about games that aren't that great.
We're gonna get a P.O. box. Send us all your Garfield games. We'll play
Any Garfield you can find.
So I guess we're describing a game that should be killed before it even exists.
Before it even exists. I
Yeah,
think that's
definitely. If you send us your Garfield games, we'll burn them and record it and post it on
You
YouTube.
know what game is brilliantly horrible? The game based off of the Jimmy Neutron movie.
Never played it.
So bad that there's like a viral post that went around where a kid has it, like he has this case with the GameCube, and then he opens it up, and then he grabs the disc, and he turns it over, and it says, "Warning, do not play," written on it with Sharpie. And, like, the comment says, "My 10-year-old self was watching out for me." And, yeah, that's the most accurate way I can describe that game. Never go back to that game. It's not good. There's another Jimmy Neutron game as well, where, like, you have to button mash to try and beat a sumo wrestler in a sumo match as Jimmy Neutron.
When are sumos ever in Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah, they're not that I remember. That's what I was confused about.
Which, by the way, if you go back and like take the nostalgia goggles off and you look at the animation of that show.
Oh, it's horrible.
It is horrendous.
Horrifying.
It is. It is.
There's
just
there's
God!
a great scene where Jimmy's hair just actually clips through the lockers in the hallway. Like he like gets intimidated and like backs up his head, and his giant hair just goes through the locker. And like I guess nobody noticed it, or they did, and they said, you know what, this is releasing on Nickelodeon, and for a bunch of children, they won't notice.
Did the movie
but we
come out
noticed.
first?
The movie did come out first.
And then they made a show?
And the first episode, I remember I was really excited to watch, was Attack of the Pants.
I remember
it was a thing essentially making fun of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, which they actually reference in the episode. But pants come to life.
Well, fuck. Guess I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, you do.
Actually, I really enjoyed the movie as a kid.
The movie's great.
I probably would enjoy it now. The only scene I really remember for it was Sheen when he's like, I'm peeing in the shower! And then they go to like all the kids and it goes back to Sheen and he's like, I'm still doing it! Go!
One of the best scenes in that movie is they're all laying down on, I think, an asteroid, and they're all talking about how much they miss their parents. And Carl says, I miss when my mom comes in with a glass of hot milk and she rubs my tummy and says, Nani, Nani, Nani. And then Nick turns to him and goes, what did you say? And he goes, nothing! And like the whole scene just cuts past it.
Are we just going to skip over the fact that they were in space without space helmets?
There is
They
actually,
explained that.
No, they pretended to explain it. Jimmy turns to Sheen, explains it, and then you get it from Carl's perspective where he's singing, spoon, 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 moon, moon, moon. And he repeats it over and over again, and then it cuts back to Jimmy and Sheen, and then Sheen goes, huh, interesting. And it was the most frustrating thing of my entire childhood.
So they acknowledged the fact that they didn't give them space helmets.
Yes,
and
yeah.
then
They acknowledged the
tell you
fact
why.
that they didn't give them space helmets. They acknowledged the fact that even though it takes astronauts days to get into space and the moon and everything, it only took them several minutes. They referenced the whole thing, and then it just, it's so frustrating.
What was the name of the company that animated it? It had like the monkey with the 3 eyes and he's like,
DNA, I think it's something like that.
DNA.
DNA or RNA.
It was DNA.
DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid.
Thank you, man.
I don't know if that's what that one stands for, but I know what it
maybe?
stands for in science. And I also don't know if you know this, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Thank you,
We
Mitchell.
have now exhausted my entire knowledge of biology.
And on that note, we're going to end this podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.